development manager of Monster Apocalypse, one of our favorite personalities in the community. And he is going to try to sell us on another game that Harbinger Press is very well known for. It's their baby. It's Hordes and Warmachine. And today we're going to be actually demoing Warmachine, which is can work with Hordes and it's kind of the same system with some differences, little caveats. So let's get to it. I'm going to be playing Zach. DC is going to show us how this game works in the process, and we're going to see what happens. So, all right. As you were, DC.
I have no idea how to do this.
Not a problem. We're going to begin at the beginning. So here we have Signar. These are kind of a loyal nation with good technology. They're kind of beset on all sides by enemies, though, including the Protectorate of Menoth, who are religious zealots who like to burn things and kill people. So we got the classic matchup here. In Warmachine, most things are determined using a 2d6 roll. And you're going to compare your stats plus the 2d6 to your opponent's stats. One of the key differences of Warmachine and something that sets it apart from other games that are out there is what's called the boosting mechanic. These beads that you have in front of you represent your focus stat of your Warcaster. Focus is the most important stat you have. For one thing, that's the number you add to your magic attack rolls, but more importantly, that determines how many focus you get in a given turn. You can use these focus to boost. Boosting means you take a third die, and instead of rolling 2d6 plus your stat, you're now rolling 3d6 plus your stat. And you guys being familiar with so many other games already, you can understand how drastically that shifts the odds. So each of these focus points can be used to boost. You can also use focus points to buy an extra melee attack. This guy here with the big mace, he can go up to somebody, smack him with the mace, punch him with the fist, and then start buying more attacks with these focus points. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it from there. That's the basics of it. Who wants to go first here?
I'll go first.
All right. So what you're going to do, before you do anything else, is you're going to assign these focus points to your Warjacks. Since you're not close enough yet, I wouldn't recommend assigning focus to your Revenger or your Crusader quite yet, but maybe give 1 or 2-ish to this guy, and give a few to your Warcaster Krios.
So when I'm assigning focus, what essentially am I doing? Am I just saying, well, I want this guy to go up and attack, so I want to give him some bonuses?
Assigning the focus doesn't dictate what the model is going to do. It just dictates how many times he's going to be able to boost. How many times he's going to be able to use 3 dice instead of 2.
And can I load up all 7 on this guy if I want?
Up to 3 per Jack, and as many as you want on your Warcaster himself.
All right, so let's do, what, 2 here?
Sounds good.
And we'll put the rest here on my castle.
All right. So let's start with one of the easy ones. Let's have this Revenger here go.
Okay.
He has a symbol that we can see on his sheet that looks kind of like an antenna. Zach's Lancer has the same symbol. That symbol is called an arc node, and we can see these little like shiny metal things on their heads. Yeah. Those are their arc nodes. Those are magic channeling devices. They allow the Warcaster to cast their own spells using that as the point of origin to measure range instead of themselves. Because your Warcaster is the leader of the battle group, they're kind of like the king in chess. If the Warcaster falls, all the Jacks no longer have a controller, game's over. So it's helpful to have an arc node in your battle group so that you can use your spells even when you're not up right close to your enemy. You can stay further back, arc a few spells through the node, and do more that way. So those focus points will be on Krios, but you're going to use his arc node. So go ahead and move him forward a bit. He can move up to his speed, or SPD.
SPD is 5, looks like?
Yep. So here we'll take out our little tape measure.
Okay.
Go ahead and move him up to 5. You can move less than that if you want to.
Let's just go ahead and get him. Now do I measure from the end of the base here?
Yep. So yeah, from front of the base to the front of the 5.
So about here?
Yep.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and have the Crusader amble up a bit behind him. His speed is 4.
Yeah, he's a bit of an ambler. We'll just advance nice and pretty right here for that.
Now, something a little more fun, we're going to have the Repenter head up and use his Flamethrower. The Flamethrower has an 8-inch range, if we look on his sheet. So, Flamethrower, SP8. That means that it's going to hit everybody that the line crosses, not just any one target within that range.
Okay.
His range is 12, but it's just a single shot. His range of 8, if you can get that line to cross over 2 things, you could maybe hit and damage 2 targets instead of 1.
If he was here, he could shoot like that.
Yeah, like right here would be perfect. He'd probably, you center it on one guy and then draw the line. So drawing an 8-inch line from here, he'd have the potential to hit and damage all 3 instead of 1.
All right, what's his speed?
Speed on our Repenter here.
5. Now,
Yep.
is there any way I can make him go faster and then take a shot?
If you go, there are ways to go faster, but not and then take a shot.
Okay.
Unless they have a special rule. Like some of these guys have rules at the bottom of their card. Like, for example, he has a war flail that says this attack ignores buckler and shield advantage and shield wall.
Okay.
So if he was fighting that guy with the shield, he could swing the chain over the top of the shield and ignore the shield bonus to armor.
Okay.
But unless it has a rule that says this model can shoot while charging or something like that, then they can only just move their normal speed and then fire.
Okay. So let's move him 5. Try to get some kind of
How does
line.
terrain work with this? That.
We ignore it in the demo.
Okay.
But in general, terrain can give you various types of bonuses. Walls give you a defense bonus to make you a little harder to hit if you're behind cover. Elevation can come into play. Like if normally you have to draw a line of sight, but if something's on a lower elevation than you can ignore it when you're drawing line of sight. Things like that. So terrain comes into play, but for demo purposes, we're just gonna play with the basic rules.
Okay, so I'm going to take my flamethrower shot. I could potentially get 2 in there, I'm not quite sure. And so I draw an 8-inch.
Yep, you got to pick a guy you're centering it on, either the Charger here or the Ironclad.
It'd probably be this guy.
All right.
Imagine.
And does it cross the Charger? Not
Doesn't
quite.
look like it.
Just barely missed. The next turn he would have been
He's gonna get
lined up a lot better.
He's getting warmed up though, that's for sure.
So we're going to look at our Repenter here. After the speed that we talked about comes strength. Strength is for making melee attacks. You'll see here there's a power of the melee attack, and then the power plus the strength gives you the final power of the melee weapon.
Okay.
So that's all strength does for the moment. Next is mat or melee attack.
Okay.
That's how much you add to the 2d6, or 3 if you boost, when you make a melee attack, and that goes against their defense.
Okay.
The one we're going to use is the next one. It's the rat, or ranged attack.
Range attack, okay.
And so we've got a ranged attack of 5. What's the defense on your Ironclad there, Zach?
My Ironclad defense is 12.
All right. So
5, 6, 7, 8, 11. So I'm going to use one and throw another dice. I can do that.
sounds good. You're going to go ahead and boost the attack roll.
And
Just
this
put it
thing
off
is
to the
gonna
side
go
for now. It'll come back next turn when you reassign your focus.
So I can roll 3d6 here.
All right.
Smoked it.
So final roll of 18 definitely hits the defense of 12. As we add our rat to the number that you rolled. Now we're looking at the power of the weapon,
Okay.
which is 12 in this case, against the armor of the Ironclad, or the arm, which is our last stat there.
18.
All right, so a 12 against an 18.
6 again.
You're 6 off. 18 minus 12 is 6. 6 off of what you roll. So I would recommend boosting that as well.
So we can boost the damage as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's do that, and we'll throw another one
Can
here.
you boost more than once on the same attack?
Nope. An attack is either boosted or not boosted. All right, so 2 points. Not a great roll, but it's something. It's going to start damaging that Ironclad. Now go ahead and roll 1 die to see what column we mark the damage on.
Okay.
Ah.
Is there any number that I'm looking for here? Does that make a big difference?
Well, if you look at the grid, you have different letters. So if you rolled a 1, you'd start heading towards his left arm, which on the Ironclad is good. In his left hand, he's got that hammer.
Oh, cool.
If all of his left arm boxes are gone, all of his L's, instead of rolling 1 die, or instead of rolling 2 dice, 3 if you boost, he only rolls 1 die, 2 if he boosts, because that hammer arm is no longer functioning right.
All right. Here it comes, Zach.
A 2. That's still working towards the left arm. That's a pretty good location. So we're going to go ahead and mark first 2 boxes going down in column 2.
So these 2?
Yep.
Okay.
Looking at the flamethrower, we see here these fiery symbols that say that it's a fire attack. So he is also now on fire. Let's put a little F or something on his sheet. Ironclad, sure. For fire, normally you have cards in card sleeves, and you just mark them with erasable markers. Then when you're done, you erase it and keep playing. So, he's on fire, but this guy's done. His weapon only has a rate of fire, or ROF, of 1, so even if you had more focus to buy additional attacks, that weapon doesn't reload fast enough.
I see it.
So we're going to head over to Krios.
Oh, this looks fun. I feel like this is where it gets good.
This is where it gets good. Krios has all kinds of options.